Today I pose a question. Are you prepared to venture into the strange, the dark, the mysterious and macabre, sometimes weird? Are you prepared to venture deep into the paranormal? Hello, everyone, and welcome to your new favorite paranormal podcast. I am your host, Kevin Leonard, and with me is Corey Bean. So, good Saturday morning. How have you been, Corey?
Doing good, doing good. It's weird to actually look over and see you
Yeah,
because usually that's not the case.
yeah, how's
Doing the
that?
things a little differently. I think I have to get used to it.
Yeah.
It's a little different. But good so far. I hope everyone out there is having a good start to their weekend, and yeah, ready to get going, talk about some fun paranormal stuff, and But how have you been? How's
Good,
everything?
good, good. Just, working every
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, paranormal investigators have full-time jobs that are not going around dark, spooky places,
I
even though
wish that was our full-time job.
that would be fantastic. I think
Yeah.
we'd all enjoy that very much,
Yeah.
more so than,
Well, we actually do.
yeah. Um, but yeah, we have some cool stuff coming up though, Kev.
Yeah.
A lot of neat things. You can catch us, both Kappa into the paranormal, probably interchangeable. Um, things, but we'll be at the Camden County Library. It's in Kingsland, Georgia,
Hmm.
September 29th. So that's coming up, just 9 days. Not this Friday, but next Friday.
Next Friday.
So coming up from 5 to 7, doing a little presentation. I think they're having a whole event, some fun for kids as well.
Yeah.
Getting ready for, as everyone calls it, spooky season. So that'll be a lot of fun. So please come if you're in that area. Please come join us.
Free
Um,
admission.
Free admission. You know.
And then October 7th, right on the heels
Yep.
of our Camden County event, we'll be in Deltona, Florida at the Deltona Regional Library. That is at 11 a.m. 2 hours, so 11 to 1. We'll be doing at both events, we'll be doing a whole paranormal 101, talking about all things paranormal, talking about equipment, experiences, our experiences, locations that we've been to, how to use the equipment, giving a little insight on how to conduct an investigation, kind of separating fact from fiction from what you see on TV. So both events are going to be really fun. September 29th, that's in Camden County, Kingsland, Georgia, and then Deltona Regional Libraries in Deltona, Florida. Both events free admission. Come hang out with us. Have a great time. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So
Sure will
we're
be.
looking forward to seeing you there. A couple other events or dates that we can't really talk about right now, but they
Yeah.
are coming in the near future. And when we're allowed to bring those up and let you guys know, we'll definitely do that on our socials and all that fun stuff. You'll hear about it here. We won't shut up about it.
No, we won't. You're gonna know what we're doing when we're doing it. Um, I know one thing we're gonna talk about more and more too. I mean, we can't invite people to this
What
one,
happened to your
but
voice?
I don't know. Did you notice that? It happens sometimes. I'm going through puberty still. I'm going through second puberty. I'm 30. That's what happens. Uh, I know this. Yeah, see, now it's in person. He can't keep himself together. But no, we're really thrilled because coming up, it feels like it's coming quicker and quicker. We got a battleship to investigate February 3rd, so that might sound like a long time, but there was a point where that was over a year, and now it's barreling towards us. Um, so we're really excited about that, and trust me, you'll hear a lot about that. We have stuff for Kappa and into the paranormal planned for that, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Disclaimer, that is not an event. That is just an
Yes.
investigation. So,
Just an investigation. But the cool thing is, if you have a group of people and you want to investigate the Battleship North Carolina, you can.
yeah.
You just reach out to them, and they, and it's worth every penny.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, what an amazing place that is, truthfully. Um, but
So,
yeah,
as we usually do at the beginning of these shows, we go into a little bit of paranormal news. Uh, I know you guys have seen making its round all over Facebook, all over Twitter, all over YouTube, or whatever, how the Mexican government has um, declassified and shown its aliens. You want to talk a little bit about that?
yeah. So this, and I was quite confused when I first saw it because I wasn't sure what the story was.
Hmm.
I didn't know why there was this paper mache alien being
I mean, I
shown
was
to them.
excited.
I mean,
Mm. Because
it,
at first
yeah,
glance, it looks like a mummified,
sure,
fossil or
absolutely.
something.
Or as Wendy's put it, the last hamburger in the back of the freezer, which gotta love Wendy's. Social media, whoever runs that social media is crazy.
Yeah.
But um, so there's a little more context to that. The Mexican Congress was having a get together, we could say, uh, discussing the United States and the UAP phenomenon that we have been talking about as of recent here in our country. And a UFO investigator happened to bring this as evidence, um, of UFOs and aliens. And if you have seen the video, um, it's obviously, I guess not obviously, but it's not something that
At first glance, it looks interesting.
right. And then you kind of pull it apart, and then
Dissect it a little bit.
yeah, and it's kind of falls apart, kind of like paper mache would if it got wet.
Yeah. And I also read that during that hearing, there were no members of the Mexican Congress present.
No,
So,
no. So I'm not even sure what exactly why it was taking place, or its importance, or
yeah.
um. But for people that were wondering more, a little more in depth into that story, that's what it was. I wasn't sure either. I just kind of saw a picture making rounds on social media. But it was a UFO researcher who brought that forth as evidence to the Mexican Congress that wasn't actually there, um, as proof of extraterrestrial life and most.
Say that word again.
Yeah, did you hear that? Extraterrestrial life. Well, I'm here in person now. I can hit him if I need to. But yeah, so that's the story.
Yeah.
Don't believe everything you see.
Right.
You know?
Unfortunately, it's false. That's what it boils down to. Was super interesting when it first started making the rounds, but then once you start digging into it, it's not true. I mean, kind of sucks since, after our whole declassification and all that, we're like, oh man, more and more countries are kind of
Yeah,
like following suit. Like the one story that we read here on the show about King Charles,
yeah, yeah,
trying to declassify
yeah.
uh UFOs and UAPs over there. So I thought it was kind of cool, but then I guess too good to be true.
But you know what? It is being talked about more. It's just crazy that people don't seem to care. It's,
Yeah.
I think we mentioned that before in that episode talking about UAPs, that people are more worried about inflation, and if aliens exist, they better come help pay rent.
Yeah.
That was, and that seems to be the case. That people are like, yeah, they exist, no duh. you know.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we do have a pretty interesting topic. Did you have anything else to say on that? What are we?
No, thank you for asking.
Okay, see how polite I am. But that's so. We have an interesting topic. Um,
What?
and then just my my soft palate sticking to my tongue. I do
Yeah.
apologize. I have water. It's not working. I'm very nervous.
Yeah.
No, so
So we have an interesting
we
topic,
do.
is what he's trying
Interesting
to
topic.
get out here.
Very interesting topic. Regarding, well, I think we all learned it. The five W's and one Y. Who,
Mm.
what, when, where, why, and how. Five W's, one H. I don't know what I'm talking about. Apparently, I need a vacation again. But so we know who And dead people, spirits, right? What? Once again, dead people, spirits. Who, what, when? Whenever they feel like showing up. Who, what, when, where? Wherever they feel like showing up. We got the who, what, when, where. There's two things we don't know. And there's two things that I would argue we'll never know. Why and how.
Hmm.
Why it happens and how it happens. Now, to figure out or to prove to a skeptic that this phenomenon is real, you'd think we need answers to those questions. And I would say, yeah, yes, you're right. We do. Do we understand the why and how? I don't think we do in the slightest.
No, because that's the basis of a hypothesis too. It's how you set up a scientific experiment. You want to answer these questions, and that's what separates the science from the paranormal. And that's unfortunately why I believe that we will never be on the same page. We'll never be on the same page, regardless what sort of evidence we bring forth. You know, and what do you think we could do to remedy that?
I don't. I'll be honest. I don't know if there's anything you can actually do to remedy that. Um, because even if we capture the clearest apparition on video, even if we capture the most crystal clear EVP, what we still don't know what it means. Um, I go back to my favorite piece of evidence ever, caught um, in Edenton, the jail that we've talked about many times. Um, it's an EVP. Um, I don't know if we can clip that in somewhere, or you guys, you can find that on the Kappa Paranormal socials and kappaparanormal.com. That clip, that EVP is incredible. I think it's fantastic evidence,
Hmm.
but it doesn't answer why. I don't know why that happened. Why do I ask a question there, or not even a question? There wasn't even a question, but it's just something that
We
responded.
were just having a general conversation, and you could just hear an EVP or a voice chime in. And a lot of times, that's what I tell my investigators when we go to a location. You can have like I'm gonna do air quotes, perfect EVP session where you're asking the best questions that's pertaining to the location, pertaining to the names that are tied to the location, the claims that are tied. And you're like, oh man, those are really good questions that we asked. And you could get no evidence at all, but your investigators could be sitting there just talking, about whatever, and spirits will just chime in and start talking, agreeing with you as they were at that particular moment, or saying something completely different. It could be me and Corey, two guys in a room, while everyone else is either in the next building or at command or wherever, where there's like no female present. And we could have our recorder going and we're just asking questions or talking amongst each other about, I don't know, what we what we had for dinner before the investigation. I don't know. And you could hear a female just chime in and say something, and there's no rhyme or reason to that sort of evidence. I don't know if any of that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah, no, it does. I don't, and it just comes right back. One, we don't know why it occurs, when it occurs. It's at random. Even with, you could say residual, the stone tape theory kind of hauntings.
Hmm.
It, maybe that's a little more at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday. The shadow flies down the hall. That okay? With still, we don't know why. There's more hypothesis behind residual hauntings than the stone tape theory, which I find fascinating. That's another. very fascinating thing is the stone tape theory, and I think that could explain residual hauntings in a very scientific way. I love that theory, but it doesn't explain the intelligent responses, the things that we seem to be able to interact with at times. So I don't know the how and why behind that, and I think they're two completely different mechanisms. I think we call them hauntings, but I do think they're different.
Yeah, and there's several different theories to the why or how, because those two questions go with each other. You know, why does a haunting occur and how a haunting occurs?
Yeah,
It could be the same exact reason. There's many theories out there. One of the theories is quartz. Maybe there's a quartz deposit.
yeah.
Running water. There could be an underground stream that runs right up under that location, and there's theories that running water fuels paranormal activity, which honestly I don't buy into.
I don't, I don't. I
Natural water is claimed or said to fuel activity. I mean, you and I both investigated house in Edenton, sitting right on the water.
right
I could
on.
throw you out the back of the house and you land in
You almost did.
the Albemarle Sound.
The Arbor, don't make me say that name.
Yeah, say it.
The Arbor Mall Sound, that
Yeah.
thing.
So we were right on the Albemarle Sound and nothing. And
Yeah,
there was claims that
yeah.
it was haunted. You know, it had the classic haunting claims where it's
Footsteps,
footsteps, disembodied voices,
even a
shadows,
woman in a white dress.
woman in a white dress.
The literally classic
Yeah.
things. And yeah, right on, not just a body, I mean literally a huge where you think that there's all this energy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a very, very silent night. Still a wonderful night.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome location.
Great, with amazing history.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, not much in the paranormal category that happened.
right. And it's a shame because during every investigation, because the reason that we investigate, I mean, we could say the classic, you know, the reason why we investigate is to help homeowners and business owners figure out what's actually happening in their location, whether it be a home or a business. And that's while that's true, but every investigator should be investigating to answer those questions. How, why, and the rest of them, you know, where and all that stuff too. But
Mm,
the main ones are the how and why. Why is this particular location haunted? That one, I believe, is a little bit more easier to answer because then you could do your research, provided you have evidence. But I believe as long as the how is unanswered, it still leaves everything else that you've gathered shallow or hollow, I guess would be the better
y-
way to say it.
right. Well, even, the most that you can say is there's hypothesis.
Hmm.
How does this happen? Okay, a spirit needs some kind of energy source. A lot of people, as people, EMF is thought to be anything electrical, electromagnetic field is thought to be, the end all be all source that spirit or any kind of energy like that thrives off of. But really, there's no real evidence that proves that to be true. We know that EMF and hypersensitivity exists that causes hallucinations and skin problems and feeling like you're being watched and a whole list of problems.
Hmm.
Um, and that's why EMF is important to the field no matter what, because it can debunk claims. But we don't know what makes activity happen. What powers activity? Does anything power activity? Does quantum physics explain anything? Um, is it something that we can't measure? I mean, I would say it very well could be something
Yeah.
that we just don't know and we won't know
I
because
mean, is it
science
the
isn't there.
barometric pressures? Is it
I mean,
gravitational pull?
well, I know people who use barometric pressure in
Hmm.
investigating. I never have. I don't believe in that theory, but there's investigators that do.
Yeah, and I'm open to it.
Sure.
I don't buy into that. It's just me personally, but I can understand their reasonings to it because that could go back to right what you were saying earlier with the residual hauntings. All of that could have been playing into a part where a residual haunting can occur. So we don't know with residuals or the stone tape theory, we don't know what triggers these hauntings or this activity to happen as far as that goes. It could be all of that. It could be certain EMF has to be exactly right. The Earth's position from the moon has to be exactly right. So the gravitational pull to the moon has to be exactly right.
Yeah.
It had to be a certain day. It had to be a Thursday in November that falls on the 6th. It could be any of those things, or one of those things,
Very much.
or all of those things.
I think that's why this is a very frustrating field to be in because we can hypothesize
Yeah.
as much as we want. Um, I don't know where science will be once I'm gone, years and years and years from now. But I don't think in my lifetime we'll have actual answers to that question.
No.
I don't. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try.
And it's each investigation, I feel we answer questions, but every question that you get an answer to, there's 10 more.
Oh yeah,
That's the direct result of that answer.
yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh, we figured such and such out. Okay, so
And
why?
again,
How? And then that poses even more theories.
yeah, it and that can also frustrate clients.
Frustrate?
Frustrate? Are you
Yeah,
frustrated?
yeah, but that's exactly right because you could have a client that so desperately wants their house to be haunted for
Right.
whatever reason, or not to be haunted, and you bring these your evidence to the client, and they're like, okay, so why didn't you experience my claims? We told you that at 10 p.m. Uh, Uncle Joe walks down the stairs and looks right at you if you're standing at the doorway, and then you smell cigarette smoke or cigar smoke, and then he just disappears into the wind. Like, okay, well, we were here for 2, 3 days, and at that particular time, no one walked up and down the stairs. We had 3 cameras on it.
Right.
Nothing. And then they're like, oh, well, no, I know what happens. That's all. That's a different topic too.
Yeah,
But
that is for yeah,
but
that's
then
neither here nor there because
yeah, because
and I will say that's not the majority of clients.
no.
Most understand that this is not a science. It I think it is a science. A lot of people will disagree. It, but you know, most clients understand that we try our best, but sometimes, in this field, there's just we can only do our best with answers.
Hmm.
There's no rhyme or reason for a lot of it. The how and why doesn't make sense. And you can go to one place and all of a sudden you have things flying around and so much activity. And then the next time you go, there's nothing happening. Um, or the same, you can go the next week someone else goes and they got crazy things happening or vice
We've been to
versa.
locations like that where
Yeah,
supposedly we've gone, and we've gone multiple times for multiple days on end, and nothing. Like we don't even believe that the place is haunted. And then the very next week or so, this other, you know, team or whatever was there, and allegedly crazy stuff is happening.
yeah, yeah. It's frustrating because once again we can't answer those questions. We want to. Trust me, if we had
I
answered
trust you.
I'm glad you do, Kevin. Because if you didn't, by the way, this is sponsored by Waikakakakailalai.
It's not.
It's not. But if someone from this water company is watching, I love volcanic water.
But we are sponsored by the Coastal Atlantic Paranormal Association. And who
Oh
is
yeah, that.
who is Kappa, you may ask? The Coastal Atlantic Paranormal Association is a paranormal research team who investigates the paranormal. If you visit www.kappaparanormal.com, you will find a ton of information regarding the paranormal, regarding the team. Uh, there is an application if you yourself is interested in the paranormal and has always wanted to join a paranormal team. There is an application. You can just click on the Join the Kappa Family and just fill out the application. We are based in Central Florida, Southeast Georgia. We do cover the East Coast of the United States, but are willing to travel wherever within reason. You know, as Corey stated earlier, we do work for a living, but we are down to investigate anywhere. There is a request our help link on the home page where if you are a homeowner or a business owner and are struggling with a paranormal problem or what you may believe is a paranormal problem, just click on that and you will fill out an application or a form. Just put your name, all your information. There is a spot on it that is for you to put any detailed information regarding your case. There are severity um, drop down menus or whatever. So if you have a moderate or severe children involved, if there's any children involved in the home or in the case in any way, it does move up on our priority list because we believe that no one should be afraid to live in their own home because of a paranormal problem, but most importantly, children uh, involved in these homes, they should not be afraid to be at home. Home should be a safe haven. So those cases do move up our priority list. Again, you visit www.kappaparanormal. Um, Visit our Facebook page for facebook.com/Kappa Paranormal, or follow us on Twitter um, at Kappa Paranormal. X. So you know what I mean when I say Twitter, but X. Did you hear that? Apparently,
You're gonna have to pay.
yeah.
Yeah,
How about
I was when yeah. Elon Musk says you gotta pay. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I knew
that's
about like
interesting.
the blue check mark. You can buy the blue check mark, and
Now to even having an account at all,
yeah,
you have to pay.
yeah, that hasn't gone into effect. But I will say that if that does go into effect, I'm not going to be on Twitter, unfortunately. I do like Twitter better than Facebook.
Yeah,
I don't know why I said it like that,
I don't know.
but it's true.
Yeah, it is it's a nice tool to be able to communicate with people and um but sometimes even really smart people make really dumb decisions.
Also, follow us on TikTok.
Yeah,
We don't post there, but we
we don't.
should. Instagram as well. I don't plug the Instagram or the TikTok ever. Um, we're not really that active on either of those like we should be. Maybe in the future. I know I did. Last time we were at the Jasper Gel, I did post a short little TikTok on the Kappa page. Um, and it wasn't like anything, any sort of evidence or whatever. It was they had their Halloween decorations up, and when you're
Yeah.
standing outside, I was actually just filming the outside of the building, and right when you looked through the window, there was like a skull on the outside. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I thought it was kind of funny, but people commented on it because I like put like a caption, and I was like, nothing creepy here or something like that, and like, oh no, it's not. I wasn't posting that as evidence, I mean, obviously, but
Yeah, I would
anyway, that was a thing. So yeah, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. Follow us there.
and that's all and that's just the cap stuff. So we also have um Into the Paranormal on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Into the Paranormal. And you can also, we really want some stories. We loved the last story that we were able to tell from a listener. It was a lot of fun. So you can really reach out to us either way. If you do want to go on Facebook, you can send us a message there with your story. You can also reach out to us on IntoTheParanormalPod@gmail.com. I check that every day. So you can always hit us up there as well. And we're happy to read a story, um, or maybe you have a topic you want us to talk about. We are willing to listen to our fans, even though um, we're just so high and mighty behind the camera.
What?
I don't know.
Okay. So that is where I guess that was like where they can follow you or something.
Well, you can
Uh,
find me on Facebook, facebook.com
okay.
slash Corey Beam. Um, if you want to follow my regular page. Yeah.
All right. And you can follow me at all the links that I said before, facebook.com/Kappa Paranormal, Twitter @Kappa Paranormal, all that fun stuff. Me personally on Twitter, it is Kevin L_Kappa, I believe. I remembered it last time. I don't remember it this time. It is in the show notes down below. So give me a follow. I'm up there occasionally on Twitter, to be honest, here and there. But check out Kappa at www.kappaparanormal, IntoTheParanormalPod@gmail.com. We really, really do like getting your stories because I thought that the last story that we read, the only story we read on the show, was really fun.
It was.
We want to do that more often. If you're doing something cool related to the paranormal and you want to jump on the show, message us and we can go from there. And as always, guys, I have been Kevin Leonard. This has been Corey Bean, and this has been Into the Paranormal.
Stay spooky, y'all. Bye.